Hello, everyone. Today, I bring you a story that left many speechless. Our country's most beloved actor, John, broke his silence and spoke from the heart about his relationship with Sarah, a businesswoman and singer. What seemed like a perfect couple began to show cracks that had remained hidden until now. In a recent interview, John admitted feeling uncomfortable seeing Sarah spend so much time with her friends. He said that although he tried to understand her, there were moments when he felt excluded. For him, it wasn't just jealousy. It was a sense of emotional disconnection, of not belonging to her world. Sarah, in turn, responded firmly. In a video posted on social media, she assured that there's only room for John in her life, but admitted she felt exhausted. "He watches me constantly. I can't breathe," she said. For her, freedom in friendships shouldn't be viewed as threats. What initially seemed like a minor argument ended up revealing something deeper, a clash of values. John wants exclusivity. Sarah defends her independence. He needs to feel like a priority. She wants to preserve her space. And that's where the conflict begins. While John doesn't understand how someone can love and still share so much with others, Sarah refuses to give up her identity for a relationship. They love each other, yes, but in very different ways. Social media exploded. Some defended John, saying jealousy stems from emotional neglect. Others supported Sarah. Love should never suffocate, they wrote. But beyond who's right or wrong, what emerges is a couple at the edge, trying to hold on to something that no longer flows naturally. The media, of course, were quick to suggest a possible breakup. And while neither has confirmed it, their words show fatigue. John, with his passionate temperament, can't accept emotional distance. Sarah, firm in her stance, refuses to live under control. They continue to share their lives with the public, but not like before. They're no longer the perfect couple adored by all. Now they are two real people, with doubts, wounds, and deep differences. What once looked like a fairy tale love is now a story of limits, insecurities, and clashing needs. Will they overcome this crisis, or is this the beginning of the end? Sometimes the hardest conflicts reveal the truth, that love alone is not enough. And without mutual understanding, not even the strongest passion can sustain everything. I've read so many lies about Demet Özdemir in recent days that it's hard to know if we're talking about a real person or a media-invented character. So many outrageous claims, so many absurd rumors, it makes you wonder when we stopped seeing the woman who always spoke from the heart and turned her into a fictional character used for scandal and clicks. What's happening to Demet is deeply unfair. Every time her name is mentioned alongside Can Yaman's, wild theories resurface. Fake relationships, pregnancies, secret breakups, impossible reconciliations. And while the world discusses her private life like a soap opera, I can't stop seeing a woman who, in silence, has shown more dignity and consistency than most of her critics. Demet doesn't need to clarify everything. She doesn't have to rush to deny every false report, like Sarah Bluma's alleged pregnancy now being somehow linked to her. What kind of respect is that? When did we become so cruel to public figures, especially women? Some even accuse her of being secretly married to Can. Others say she's behind the rumors, manipulating his image. And I ask, do people really believe that? I've seen Demet grow, change, make difficult decisions, walk away from what didn't serve her, and if she's no longer with Can, it's not out of fear or lack of love, but out of self-respect. While others remain stuck in toxic relationships, she chose to move forward, quietly, without scandal, without using anyone's name to climb higher. It would be easy to play the game, give interviews, stir up headlines, plant doubts, but she doesn't do that. And in this rotten world of gossip and fake stardom, that is an act of courage. Make no mistake, her silence is not weakness, it's strength. It's the silence of someone who's already said everything and doesn't owe explanations to those who only know how to judge. Sometimes I think Demet has had the hardest role of all, to be an authentic woman in a system that prefers ornamental ones. She's not perfect and doesn't pretend to be, but she's consistent, she's worked hard, she's respected her audience, and above all, herself. How many can say the same? That's why it angers me when she's used to create drama. when they make her responsible for what Can does or doesn't do, as if her existence depended on him, as if she didn't shine on her own. But she does. And the proof is that, even without saying a word, she has more impact than all the gossip combined. The truth is, Demet Özdemir no longer belongs to the world of cheap celebrity. She's on another level, and those who keep trying to drag her through the mud with ridiculous stories only reveal their own misery, because she no longer needs to explain herself. Her life, her silence, her decisions, they say it all. And if one day she chooses to speak, she will do it with the same honesty that has always defined her. Until then, all I can say is that I admire her. Not because she's a star, but because she's a woman who knows who she is, who has learned to say no, and who's not afraid to walk alone, even if the world would rather see her on her knees. In a world that applauds those who scream, Demet chose silence. And to me, that's worth more than 1,000 words. She isn't perfect, nor does she pretend to be. But in a world that demands constant perfection, she has shown that one can be strong even in vulnerability, that one can keep silent without being weak, and that not all pains need to be public to be real. She chose to rebuild in peace, and that to me is a silent but immense victory. I still believe time will put everything in its place, that those who judge her today will understand tomorrow, because her story didn't end with a relationship, nor does her worth depend on what others say. Demet Özdemir has shown that loving oneself is not selfishness, but survival. And not self-love, no one can take away.